Hello and welcome to this episode of the RiskWire Webcast. I'm Reena Agrawal, Research Economist at Veros Real Estate Solutions. Some of the most asked questions or Google questions about the housing market are, what are the current trends in the housing market, and is this a good time to buy a house? We are going to pose these questions to Eric Fox, Chief Economist at Veros Real Estate Solutions. Welcome, Eric, to this webcast.
Thank you, Reena.
So my first question to you is, what are the current trends in the housing market today that our viewers should know about?
Well, I certainly think one of the biggest trends today is the continuing high level of interest rates. And quite honestly, we've been forecasting that rates are not going to be coming down anytime soon. I know a year ago, the common narrative was rates will be back below 5% and the Fed will start cutting rates and we're going to have 3 rate cuts this year. None of that's come to pass. And I think that we're in for a period of increased rates for quite some time. So I think seeing rates in the 7% range like we're seeing right now isn't unexpected. And as long as inflation remains stubbornly high, which it has, we're not going to see interest rates coming down. And so that's going to be one key thing for the housing market, is continuing the firm and modestly high rates. Still by historical standards, they're not high at all, but certainly compared to what we were having 2 or 3 years ago, they're very high. Second thing we're seeing, though, is that supply still is remaining stubbornly low. A lot of lock-in effect by a lot of homeowners with those much lower rates of a few years ago are keeping supply on the market very low. We're up a little bit to about 3.2 months supply this year compared to maybe 2.7 months supply just a year ago, but that's still relatively low. And both of those things together are allowing prices to continue to creep up. So I think we're going in, as an overall, see prices continue to creep up in the United States. And we're going to have some markets that aren't as strong as other markets, clearly, but prices will continue creeping up. Portions of the United States where we see the strongest real estate over the next 12 months are remaining those lower priced markets, such as the Midwest, markets like Grand Rapids, Michigan, Rockford, Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana, and the Northeast. So we're talking about markets like Hartford, Connecticut, Manchester, New Hampshire, Rochester, New York, and so forth, where we're seeing high single digits in terms of appreciation rates for those markets. So I think that's the sort of overall what kinds of things we're seeing in the U.S. housing market in terms of current trends.
The other top question on the viewer's mind is this a good time to buy a house, given the current scenario of high rates, high prices, low supply?
And my answer to that is always the same. Rarely do I deviate from this answer. It's always a good time to buy a house. No matter when you buy a house, you are investing in the future. And one of the things, if you look at long term, over 30 or 40 years, a house always goes up in value. You may have little hiccups along the way. They may deviate slightly from time to time. But an investment in a home, deductibility of mortgage interest, that you can't really lose. So I always encourage everybody, no matter what the market is, buy the best house that you can afford, the best condo that you can afford, and then over time you can always pay it off, gain some equity, and then buy something a little bit bigger. And in the end, people that have done that wake up 30 or 40 years from now and they have a huge amount of equity in their homes.
Thank you for your insights, Eric. I hope you enjoyed this discussion about the housing market today. I'm Reena Agrawal.
And I'm Eric Fox.
Thank you.